Let's make a noise, talking about pro wrestling on the podcast. Big up boys, big loony guys. We be throwing down the rhymes, kicking it live, representing the Lone Star State every damn time. We got Stone Cold Stunners and the Rocks peoples.
Whoa, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an impromptu makeup show. I know it's been a while. I've been out sick. SP's been doing stuff with the fam, and yeah. So what's up, everybody? We are here. I'm here joined with my boy SP. What's up, man? How's it been, bro?
That Dropkick Zombie, man, it's going good. Just working, doing the daily grind. How about yourself?
Same with me. As I told you before, it's my busy season right now. Lord.
Yeah, got the in-laws in town visiting from Michigan. They're here for a month, so doing stuff with them, roughly about every day after work, just hanging out and having a good time, getting to visit.
That's always good.
We don't get to see them as much as we would like to, so it's good having them down here in Texas for a while.
Yeah, I got probably in June, I want to say, all my nieces and nephews are coming up here. And my mom and dad, and I'm a little worried about all this. But hey, I told them they can come over and chill at the house and stuff. So they're gonna come for about a week and get an Airbnb and stuff. But yeah, so family, bro, it's always good. Now let's get into it, man. Let's first start off with our first topic here. Rock and Roman is not happening for another 2 whole years. We're not going to get that payoff. It's maybe not a bad thing, maybe a good thing, but what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so according to Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer letter, the Rock versus Roman Reigns match will not possibly happen until 2026, which is going to be WrestleMania 42. I'm assuming to help build up the storyline of what is currently happening over on SmackDown right now. Obviously, Roman's taking a break and he's going to be coming back here sometime later on this year, obviously to address with what's going on with the current bloodline ranking. And then they're just going to have to start weaving in the matchup set to happen between Rock and Roman, although kind of waiting, pretty much roughly 2 more years before that match even happens is kind of interesting also at the same time. But I mean, like I said, it gives them, gives WWE as well as Dwayne Johnson a chance to properly plan everything out and get everything set in motion. So it's going to be interesting to see, will we get it next year or will they truly wait till WrestleMania 42? So only time will tell.
I guess they're going to make us wait, man. That's what I'm guessing.
That's what WWE's good at doing.
Oh, y'all didn't want to have it? Oh, y'all didn't want us to have it. Y'all didn't want us to do it this year. So hey, we're going to make y'all wait 2 more years. Next year our main event is going to be Hornswoggle versus let's see, who's somebody good versus give me somebody good.
Bring back Swoggle versus Fit Finley
versus Fit. That's going to be the main event for next year.
Yep.
Screw you guys. But hey, man, that could be good though. It could be a long, the only thing they shouldn't wait too long with The Rock. I mean, yeah, 2 years ain't going to make that big a difference, but, the guy's getting kind of old. They don't, the sooner the better for him to give us the best match that he can, I would say. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I do agree that, it needs to be on the grandest stage of them all. But, I mean, 2 years, I'm not sure. I know that could work in their favor. A good, slow build-up. Make sure they're both rested. Roman can only, go so much with his condition and stuff. But I mean, he doesn't want to tire himself out, so that's good. Sporadic appearances.
Same with Rock. I mean, he posted on Twitter the day after WrestleMania Night 2 saying that, his body's a little banged up and everything like that, but he was still feeling good. I mean, he credits a lot of his conditioning obviously working out for like 5-hour days or 6-hour days, however long it was a day that he was training, but also with the help of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins during that match to kind of help
Yeah,
carry him through. Because
and
I'm
that's
like we've talked about, his last legit match was, wasn't it was 10 years ago at Royal Rumble 2014. Well, actually, no, technically he lost it. It would have been WrestleMania that year when he lost the title to John Cena.
yeah, that's my biggest concern though with him is that the sooner they get him, that's you know what I'm saying. He's not getting any younger as the years
Mm,
pass. You know what I'm saying? So
But
I don't
he
know.
knows that he's definitely got to put in the time and work to make this Rock versus Roman match a masterpiece that it should be.
Yeah, and I think they will. So I mean, I'm trusting Triple H and his creative decision. It's worked very good so far. So
Yeah,
hey, I'm game.
if you want to talk about playing the long game, this is definitely a good example of playing the long game, letting the storyline build up and play out.
Yeah, for sure. Now moving on, we had something that you found out that the Taker was not supposed to be in that match with Cody Rhodes and Roman. It was actually supposed to be the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He actually was replaced by the Dead Man.
Yeah, so apparently just Stone Cold and WWE couldn't come to terms on a paycheck, and so Undertaker, they reached out to him, and obviously he bid at the opportunity to do so, which is cool, but kind of sucks at the same time because I think that the proper rivalry for The Rock was obviously Stone Cold versus The Rock. I mean, they've main evented 3 WrestleManias. I mean, you had 15, 16, and one of the other ones. And essentially one of their last WrestleManias together. It was may have been 19, I think was their last WrestleMania match that they had. And I mean, Stone Cold won 2 out of the 3. So this would have been the one where Stone Cold could have come back and avenged his loss to Rock at that last WrestleMania that they fought at and took out the Rock, because I'm sure you could imagine just hearing the dun and then
Yeah,
Stone Cold coming down on
it
his
would have hit
on the old
different.
on the ATV and going in and obviously throwing fists back and forth with the Rock, and then Stone Cold hitting him with a stunner, and Cody Rhodes hits a few crossroads on Roman Reigns, wins, and that's the match right there.
Yeah,
So
that would have definitely hit. I mean, the Undertaker lights going that hit hard, but that would have hit different. The Stone
oh
Cold coming
the
down.
pop the pop for the glass shattering
Yeah,
would have erupted the whole building. I mean,
yeah.
there's no doubt about
I
that.
think yeah, you're definitely right. I think that was probably a miss. And if we would have got old Moxley in there instead of Seth getting punched, that would have been great too. But hey, they worked with what they had, so and it was still a great show. So
Yeah, I mean, they put on it was a great main event and everything like that, but I know a lot of us were hoping that it was going to be Stone Cold to come out and deliver the final blow to set up Cody to get the finishing moves and the pinfall.
okay, moving right along, and I much agree with you there. So we're gonna go over the past few Raws, stuff that we saw interesting. I saw that Chad Gable actually turned on Sammy,
Sami Zayn.
which was interesting.
Yeah, it was coming. The seeds were being planted there, and I mean, if you think about it, with
He
all the
needs a
times
good.
where, yeah, he this was definitely needed for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alpha Academy was great with him, Otis, and was it Maxine Dupree, right?
Yeah, and Nazawa,
Um,
Tazawa, Akira
yeah,
Tazawa.
um, it
Oh,
was
that looks so much
definitely
better.
needed for him, and I mean, you could tell there were subtle hints being given away that he was going to eventually end up turning, and it makes sense. I mean, he lost the chance He lost the chance to beat Gunther for the title, and then lost the number one contenders match, and then had to sit there and help train Sammy in order to beat Gunther. And then, of course, and then Sammy versus Chad, for the Intercontinental title. Sammy wins, and this is just the culmination of the constant almost having it and then it
Let me
being
change
taken
that
away right out
picture.
of your fingers.
There we go. So what else interesting with Raw? I'm getting them mixed up here. I want to say that I saw that, speaking of Gunther, he actually fired Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, so this actually happened last night on Raw. He had Kaiser take out Vinci from the ring, and it was a long time coming, and it should have happened prior to it happening last night, because it just didn't seem that climactic, like
Yeah.
it was just one of those setups that you could just see coming a mile away,
I
and
don't know if I like it. I kind of like Imperium being a more, not a huge stable, but being a bigger stable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I mean, I can
Yeah,
understand the
but I
psychology
mean,
behind it.
yeah, no, I mean Kaiser and Vinci. I mean, they were there. Obviously, they were there to help Gunther boost him up and everything like that. But them as a tag team just weren't really all that effective, and so it definitely the breakup should have happened uh, a while ago. But I mean, they finally culminated the events of that happening last night on Raw. So
What else?
it did happen.
Now, do you think we're gonna have a
Just
replacement?
I don't think so. I think
No.
it's just going to be Kaiser and Gunther for a while.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
Um,
interesting.
I have heard rumors that Gunther is the shoe-in to win the King of the Ring tournament for the men's. That's happening Saturday, I believe, in July, middle to end of July is when they're doing King of the Ring this year.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it definitely. I mean, he is the ring general, so he might as well be king of the ring as well. So
right. So yeah, so there's just a lot of questions as to go on. Will this hinder or help him winning the King of the Ring?
I don't know. I think he's more than primed and ready to go to be, um, maybe not champion straight away, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely in the picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he should definitely be in that title picture.
Right. Pretty much just last night for Raw, there was a battle royal to determine the new Raw Women's Champion due to last week Rhea Ripley having to relinquish the title due to injury sustained by the surprise attack from Liv Morgan from the week prior.
I could be
Um,
wrong. Okay, I'm maybe interrupting you for you about to say. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all good. So last night, as I was just talking about, there was a battle royal to determine the new Raw Women's Champion due to last week Rhea Ripley having to relinquish the title due to the week prior to that, due to the surprise attack by Liv Morgan. And it wasn't originally Rhea Ripley sustained just an out of the blue injury. It wasn't even like the attack to her by Liv Morgan was planned. Unfortunately, when she got slammed into the wall, she hit incorrectly and sprained her wrist, fractured her wrist. Something happened where she then ended up having to relinquish the title. But that also raised a lot of questions like, okay, Seth Rollins, your world heavyweight champion, was wrestling and not wrestling essentially at the same time with a torn meniscus in his knee, and he, was still held onto the title up until WrestleMania, losing it to Drew McIntyre. So why couldn't they have done the same thing with Rhea Ripley? Why have her give up the title to crown a new Raw Women's Champion when she's only going to be out for a shorter period of time?
The thing I did, am I wrong? Is she pregnant?
Rhea?
Did I hear that?
Nope, that's Ruby
I know
Soho.
Ruby Soho, but I could have sworn I heard it about Rhea also. Hang on.
Nuh-uh.
Maybe not. I mean, I could be wrong. I thought I heard that her and old boy there were expecting their first child or
Buddy
whatever.
Murphy.
Yeah, Freddie Murphy.
Uh,
I was about to say
no,
Buddy Matthews.
well, you could say Buddy Matthews as well too. I mean, fans will know who we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, like I said, it just raised a lot of questions. Like, why have her your top women's champion right now give up the title to crown an? I mean, I guess you could call Becky Lynch an interim champion for the time being. Um, So I know a lot of people were hoping that Liv Morgan was going to win the battle royal, but obviously she didn't. They gave it to Becky Lynch, which a lot of people were saying that was the right choice.
I guess I'm kind of tired of Becky Lynch, though. To be honest, that's just me, though.
I mean, yeah, she was just champion not more than 7 months ago.
I'm
You're
kind
kind
of
of putting
tired of
yourself in
her.
the whole Charlotte Flair situation where anytime she's out, she's automatically put back into the championship title picture and then wins and then
I
we'll
mean, I
drop it and
like
then
her, but I mean, I don't know. I think she's a little over exposed now, like a little over champion. I don't know.
right. Well, I mean, she was supposed to go on break after WrestleMania so she could, just take some time off to be with her daughter and everything like
Yeah.
that. And also while Seth is recuperating from his knee surgery, which he just had last Thursday, I believe. So I mean, he's going to be out for I think they're saying anywhere from 2 to 8 months. So um, I think they should have given it to someone else. Maybe I don't know who I would have picked to take Rhea's spot as women's Raw champion while she's out.
Jade Cargill. If Vince was there, that's what they
No,
would do. No,
no,
no.
no. Well, there's rumors that
I know, but if Vince was
that
there,
her
that would probably happen.
yeah, more than likely. But no, there's rumors that they're gonna send Jade and Bianca to NXT to win the NXT tag titles. I mean,
Mm.
which isn't necessarily a bad idea because it'll help hide Jade's uh, inabilities while she's still learning on the job.
Yeah.
But you can't give someone who's freshly new to your company already,
Yeah. Vince would have.
especially when I mean they're only going into their 4th year of being a professional wrestler. Like
Yeah.
you at least gotta have.
She needs a long build up. That she needs some time in NXT, if you ask me. She
Mhm,
needs some time with Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, Becky Lynch champion again. Okay. What else interesting? How about the heavyweight champion title picture? What's going on with that? Oh,
Uh
AJ Styles.
oh yeah, with well, that's over there on SmackDown. We're
Yeah,
talking about Raw.
I'm getting who's I don't know who's in the running there.
Right now it's still for
I
Monday
missed. I
Night
haven't
Raw.
watched last night's Raw yet. I didn't have a chance. I have to watch it the next day because I have to watch it on
Mhm.
I have to watch it on one of the sketchy sites. But that's why I cannot wait for it to go to Netflix. But
Right.
um,
What is going on with the title picture over on Raw? Oh, just Damian Priest right now. I think he's getting ready to have his match with Jey Uso for the title.
oh, so it's Jey Uso.
That,
Okay.
yeah, I know because uh he won the match from the week prior to become number one contender for Damian Priest and the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, so yeah, I could see Jey Uso in that spot. But I think he needs to deal with some problems over on SmackDown. But that's just me. Um, so yeah, well, Raw.
uh, Monday Night Raw, there was a sign in the crowd that said "Cry Me a River." Obviously, a dig at CM Punk.
Oh, did they? I'm surprised they didn't confiscate that.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. It seems like WWE shows and AEW shows have rules on what the signs could say and stuff like that. Now, I know AEW doesn't want, like, if you do show up with a sign, both sides of your board or whatever have to say something on it. They won't let you in. Apparently they won't let you in if you have one side with something on it and the other side's blank. I guess they don't want people trying to
Write it
type
in real
something,
quick.
write it in real quick as they're
Remember,
in something derogatory or wrong or something like
I remember
that.
they had that one chick that got kicked out for writing on one of the signs. Chris
Oh,
Jericho, break down my walls.
oh
Like,
well, there was someone who had a sign that said "Face F me Finn Balor."
yeah, that was that. Whatever. She was only keeping it 100 a few times. I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another one like Chris Jericho, break my walls down and stuff. So,
Yeah.
it is.
Fine.
Other.
Raw.
You have anything more for Raw, or do you want to move on to the WWE as a whole?
What do you think of the new tag titles that have been revealed?
I think
For
they look a
men's
lot.
and
I think they look a lot better.
I don't know how I feel about them. It's they're
I like them.
I don't know.
I didn't like
I
that
get
color code red belt. No, I didn't like that. I don't know. That's just me.
yeah, maybe it's just gonna have to take some time to grow on me. I
My
just
little
don't know how I
nephew would
feel
agree
about
with
the
you. My little nephew would agree with you.
yeah.
He didn't like them either.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I mean, my favorite title belt of all time was the Hardcore Championship. So I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so
That was a lot of people's favorite title.
and my least favorite was the spinner belt, John Cena's spinner belt. I hated
Oh
that
yeah.
thing.
Well, I mean, it was cool for the time because that's what was going on out in the world. You had the spinner rims
Oh, I
and
love spinner rims. I had the spinner hubcaps.
right.
I could
I mean, you just got to figure
I
that
couldn't afford the
for
rims,
that
so I
for
got the
that
hubcaps.
for that time frame, spinner everything was what was in. So
Yeah, there's that. But I mean, I thought it was all right.
let's
I
see
liked
what
them
else we
better.
got for Monday Night Raw. I don't think there's really a whole lot more. Let's see. Bell, Rhea Ripley, Chad Gable. Already talked about that. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, uh, now we're just pretty much just going on to the upcoming situation with what's going on over there on Monday Night Raw in regards to Damian Priest. Is looking like he's going to be turning to a babyface here sometime soon.
I could see that.
Dominic Mysterio is out with a wrist injury. Like I think he might have a broken wrist or something like that, or an elbow fracture or something like that. Something's going on with him because he was in a cast and sling last night on Monday Night Raw, and they did this little backstage segment between him and Liv Morgan. So they're trying to decide if they're gonna go romantic storyline with the two of them, or maybe them joining forces and going on doing their own thing.
Cool. Now, getting on the WWE topics as a whole, so I saw that you sent me that they are actually going to be scaling back their stage props, stage and stuff like that, their whole presentation, I guess you could say.
Yeah, to where it's almost kind of look like they're going back to the setups that they would do for the house shows, for just the standard live events, where it's just you got the big screen and then like a break in the middle, which is obviously going to be where the wrestlers are going to be coming out, and it's just there's not going to be a ramp. It's just going to be a flat walk on the ground to the ring. But they're just scaling back. I'm assuming to just save extra money on production. And
That's why I don't. Out of all times, why now? They just got the TKO deal. They just got. I don't understand that. They should be up in their you know what I'm saying, their production, in my opinion. But
Right.
they got the TKO group behind them now. They're bleeding money right now. Like I don't understand that. But hey, there's probably a reason for it. I mean, I guess they can use the money elsewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's always there's always something for them to put money into, and maybe they'll start upscaling their PLE event pay-per-view stages better now, or more like how they used to, upwards of about 3 or 4 years ago, where like the Money in the Bank uh pay-per-views, the briefcases and ladders all over, the entrance and up on the ramp and stuff like that, or like TLC pay-per-views, they had like just rows of chairs, rows of ladders, rows of tables, um, there on the entrance stage and stuff like that. So hopefully they put the money back into stepping up their PLE uh, sets.
Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty cool. I don't. I guess like I think production is very much key, and I mean I'm not saying as far as like video quality and camera work and all that, but
Hmm.
like I like big loud stuff. I like big popping stuff. I was That's another thing that made me stop watching WWE for a while, is when Pyro went away like it
Hmm.
did, and I was just like, well, no, it just didn't hit as hard.
Nah, it didn't.
But they break out the Pyro a little bit more now, so I'm happy about that.
Every now and then. So apparently, another thing that WWE's getting ready to do is they're going to start shaking up their pay per view schedule.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was looking for. I was going to ask you about that.
yeah, per Nick Khan, he just wants to have the Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series all to be in the U.S. All the others taking place overseas. So
I mean,
you're pretty much
I guess to
so you're,
give the
yeah, so you're
overseas
pretty
audience
much
something.
yeah, because they've definitely overseas has definitely goes long periods of time in between events that happen over there in their areas, unless it's like
Tour.
a yeah, exactly, a tour.
Like I know right now they're touring Europe right now, I want to say.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, yeah. So
but I'll be
they
honest
kind
with you.
so it's like they kind of tour Europe at the same time as there's also things going on over here in the States too. So it's like they take
Half
half
a
their
show.
roster, yeah, and sends them overseas to do things over there. But then again, if it's like a Monday Night Raw tour or even a SmackDown one, they're just only there for a few days, so they'll send them over there to do their events there, and then they're flying back. So
I mean, I got to be honest. Like I went to a Raw taping in Lafayette, Louisiana,
mhm.
and it was all right. It was a Raw taping. It was cool. But then I went to a house show in Alexandria, Louisiana, and the card was way better. I had so much more fun at the house show because it was such a, like on the Raw card, they just had the people they needed. You know,
Mhm.
the main attraction was Matt Riddle at the Raw show. That was the main event,
Mhm.
which is cool. I like Matt Riddle, but the house show had Cody, Seth, AJ, had like everybody. Like it was just one after another. Becky Lynch. It had pretty much all the who's who. Just like pretty much the whole roster was there, and I was just like, hell yeah!
Mhm.
From both different promotions. Like it was awesome. Pretty much everybody was there except Roman, which it is Roman, but.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I think it's a good strategy. I think I mean, if you want to grow your brand, you have to have a strong presence overseas.
Mhm.
So
So also another thing that they're talking about doing is no longer having WrestleMania be at the beginning part of April. Nick Khan wants to push it back to May so as not to compete with the NCAA tournament or Final Four games. So he's thinking of getting them out of there, And then also after this year's WrestleMania, he wants to get it out of the Northeast locations due to all the cold weather that's associated being up there during that time of year. And so they're talking about doing it to Minnesota. And I think Minnesota, the reason why they're doing it there is because the stadium that they have there, it's a fixed roof to where it's not going to be open at all.
Screw that. Bring
They
it
don't
back.
have
Bring it back to the Superdome.
or I mean, yeah, I mean, there's talks of them doing it like an enclosed stadium, or
New
even
Orleans.
with a stadium that has a retractable roof. So that way they can, if the weather permits it to, they can have the top of the arena open, or if it's rain, snow, whatever, they could just keep it closed. And
I know they haven't announced a location yet, and usually they have announced a location by now.
right, yeah,
The night of Mania, they announce it.
Yeah, or at least the following Monday night on Raw. Yeah, they'll usually announce where WrestleMania the following year is going to take place.
So there's definitely something moving along there. Bring it back to NOLA. Hey, wait, don't Cowboy Stadium have a retractable roof?
I think so.
Yeah, it does. So
I believe so, and I think San Antonio's may have a retractable roof as well too. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I don't know if it's big enough for a Mania, but screw it. Put it at that. What's that at that event that we went, the Juggalo weekend? Put it there at that place. Bro, can you imagine how much the tickets would be then?
Oh,
good
ridiculous.
God.
Yeah, so I think for the last bit of WWE news, there is now a joint venture going on between WWE and UFC to take place. There's a partnership now, which obviously we knew was going to happen, just weren't sure yet. But the next PLE is going to take place at the UFC Apex facility.
That's small, bro.
Yeah, well, it's going to be for an NXT PLE. Let me see if I can find it. What it's going to be for.
Okay, that's understand, because that is a small venue.
It's going to be a NXT Battleground. Will be at the UFC Apex facility in Las Vegas.
That's cool. I mean, that'd have to be NXT because that is a small venue. I don't know if you ever seen the Apex, but it's a little bitty.
I haven't been to Vegas since.
Well, just on the UFC, watching it through the UFC, they only allow so many people in their like UFC off cards when they're not doing it in a stadium. That's what they used during COVID. They used the UFC Apex, and it is little bitty, like only. I don't even know. It looks like there's just a few people in there. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see that for sure.
Yeah. Also, via last couple things on wrestling news. Via PW Insider, stating that Jacob Fatu will be debuting sometime this week. They're not sure if it's going to be on NXT tonight or if it'll be on Friday Night SmackDown.
No, not NXT. Then bitches better not put him on NXT. I had to look at the timer and make sure that bitches better not put him on NXT. No, he needs to be right in the bloodline mix. Right in the mix with the bloodline. All up in that, smoldering and moving around and greet the Roman when he comes back and everything. Like all up in the mix. Slap the wise man. Slap everybody around. Slap Roman too. I want them all up in the mix like a big, giant Twinkie.
And then obviously, do we have a section going up for WWE releases that have been going on?
Oh, I sure didn't. Let's just keep it with this one.
We'll keep it here with this. Apparently today, Cameron Grimes had posted a video on Twitter saying that he had just gotten off the phone with WWE and he's been released from his contract.
That one hurts me the most.
Cameron Grimes, along with Jinder Mahal and Xia Li, have both been let go as well by WWE.
I thought they were going to do something with Cameron, bro.
Yeah, he'd been just on the roster for about a year. creative couldn't find anything to do with him. So
He
unfortunately,
was he's so good too. He's part of that he's from that whole Cameron, North Carolina clique, you know, with the Hardys, the Hurricane,
Mhm.
him and that one other guy. He's from that kind of clique right there. And bro, I want to see him. Man, that would be a good. I think he would fit in good at AEW for sure.
think so, and that's one. I mean, I know this isn't really on the topic of WWE news, but Tony Khan has stated that he does plan on signing more wrestlers. Whether that's a good idea or not is kind
Bloated
of
ass roster, but actually do something with
yeah,
him.
right, exactly. So yeah,
But
so we've got Cameron Grimes, Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, and then there was someone else.
what from
Um,
NXT, another guy that surprised me. Crap.
yeah, he was released just quietly, just without like they just like WWE just kind of quietly
Von
let
Wagner.
him. That was it. Yeah, that was
And
it.
I thought
Von
he was
Wagner.
going to be on the main roster with Braun Breaker because he had a awesome like program with Braun Breaker in the main event picture, title picture, and everything in NXT. So I thought for sure he was going to do some awesome stuff in the main roster.
Right.
And he's a second generation superstar. Like I don't know. That baffles me. But the one that really hurts me is Cameron Grimes because I've always been a fan of him because, like I said, he was a mainstay regular at Russell Circus out in Austin, and I was very
Okay.
excited to see him. But that sucks. And this time of year always sucks because this after Mania, you
It's
always know that's when they're gonna start cutting people.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, another thing that I just remembered from Monday Night Raw last night is there was a tag match between DIY and Awesome Truth. Obviously, awesome for the tag titles. Obviously, Awesome Truth ends up picking up the win. But Johnny
I saw
Gargano
this.
went to shake hands with both Truth and Miz, gave him I think each other hugs, and when he tried to get Tommaso Ciampa to shake their hands, he like
Walked out.
yeah did just kind of whatever and just rolled out of the ring
And
and
this
left.
is what
I
we need. Tommaso Ciampa makes a hell of a heel.
and see, and that's what I was thinking is what's
He
going to
is
be
a
happening.
very good heel. I
Yeah, see,
remember.
that's kind of what happened in my mind because I mean, because wasn't it in NXT? Was it Gargano who turned on Champa first, or
No, it
was
was
it Champa that
Ciampa.
turned Champa? Okay,
Yeah, and he was a monster
and then
heel.
yeah, and then Gargano did the turnaround, did the same thing once they rejoined forces again too. So
I remember he was such a good heel. He had this awesome ass T-shirt that he wore to one of the NXT takeovers.
mhm.
Awesome, and everybody was asking about it and tweeting at him. He goes, "Just because y'all want it, I'm gonna make sure this T-shirt is never available." It was like a Black Heart T-shirt, and it was never available. He'd wear it, and they never put it up on WWEshop.com. I was like, "Damn, that's heel tactics right there."
Right. For wrestling news, that's pretty much just about it. Let's see.
Now let's move along to is also keeping it with the WWE. We got Natalia's contract coming up, man. Can you imagine? I cannot imagine. Okay, so I've seen her in Japan and stuff. I can't imagine, but at this point, I cannot imagine her. I cannot imagine her not being in the WWE for some reason.
Right, yeah. Yeah, according to Fightful Select, they report that Natalia's contract is set to expire in just a couple of months, and she has uh, not yet re-signed with them at this time. Apparently, this was something that one of their, I guess, contract people, something like that, was supposed to make happen before he left or was let go, but didn't ever make happen. So it's going to be
And now
interesting
he
to
ain't gonna
see.
make it happen. So,
No, he isn't. He's gone.
so
So it's definitely going to be something to see whether Hunter, finalizes that deal or if Natalia just lets her contract expire and will she go off to AEW, TNA, MLW, New Japan?
I think
Uh,
she would be a good fit for TNA.
I think so too.
I think that would be a good place for her. To be all out
It would
honest
be
with you.
nice. Maybe have her and Ash by Elegance kind of restart their feud that they had in WWE when Dana Brooke debuted.
Yeah, I think that would be a good fit for her, personally. Now let's see. Moving on to SmackDown news. What you got on the world of Smacketh Down?
So SmackDown, a couple weeks ago, there were 2 triple threat matches to determine who was going to face each other to end up facing Cody Rhodes for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. And once all said was done, it came down to AJ Styles versus LA Knight. So we had a nice little WrestleMania rematch. Unfortunately, however, LA Knight did not get the win. It is AJ Styles who will face
Hi, Anthony.
for the Universal title.
Hi, Anthony. Ha! How you like that? And guess what? That theme music was playing after he pinned that ass.
What else? Oh yes, that night we also had the debut of Tama Tonga come in and just lay a
Of the Gorillas of
beatdown
Destiny.
on Jimmy Uso. I mean, just laid a horrible beatdown on Jimmy Uso.
Hell yeah.
And apparently this is all done at the direction of the tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Oh, really? That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw
was
that whole
nuts.
like him on the phone, Paul on the phone, that he grabs the phone. I didn't know. I was like, is this against Roman Reigns?
Solo. Yep, Solo grabbed it, stomped on it, and I guess when they went backstage, it was said that it was done at the orders of Roman Reigns to take out Jimmy Uso.
Okay.
So that's going to be something to see. Also, that same night, now obviously we're talking about SmackDown from a couple weeks ago. There was a fan at ringside that said CM Punk was right. Obviously, in regards to his interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. In regards to him talking about the backstage altercation with Jungle Boy at All In London. Let's see what else we got here for SmackDown. Oh yes, we had last week, just this past Friday night, we had the new SmackDown tag team titles revealed, which brought back a lot of reminiscent because they are.
I like those more. I really like those.
And I think the reason why is because their similarity in look is very close to the Attitude Era style tag team titles.
That could be it. Yeah.
That's exactly what popped in my head when I saw them.
I like those a lot more than the Raw. I will say that. I really like those.
Yeah,
moves.
so I think Hunter went with that to try to capture on the nostalgia for the Attitude Era, so you could kind of say, yeah, there's more and more signs of the Attitude Era coming back into today's PG style of WWE content that they're putting out.
Cool beans.
And obviously, we had. Did you see the beatdown of Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa to Kevin Owens? I mean,
I did see that.
They busted him open. He was juicing pretty hard. Had the good old crimson mask.
And this is what I wanted per se. I wanted, Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa going around just wrecking shop on people. But I didn't know if I necessarily wanted to see Solo and Tama doing it. I wanted to see Solo and Jacob, but that leaves room for Jacob to be a whole lot more than just another, you know what I'm saying? Just another hit guy for the bloodline. So
right, and I think that's essentially what's going to be going on. Is Solo has anointed himself as the
interim leader right now, head of the table.
Tribal chief. Obviously, while Roman's out, and I think this is where when Roman does return, he's going to be like, what are you guys like? What's going on? And I think that's where we may get a turn from Solo and Tama Tonga.
I think a good idea would be that Solo thinks he's the leader. the interim leader. Then here comes Jacob out of nowhere, and he gets a call. Nah, Jacob's leading for right now, and then that makes him jealous. It kind of starts some
That's
shit with
that's
Tama.
yeah. I mean, again, just
It's like Roman's like, no, I sent Jacob to lead for now. You know.
right, because I mean, Solo. I mean, what's the point of having Solo be the leader if he's just kind of gonna constantly be losing every single one of his matches?
And then he's too quiet
And
too. I can't. I don't even know if the dude can even deliver a proper,
right,
promo. I know Tama
he,
can. But I don't know if they're gonna let him
uh,
talk. So
I believe he did that night, and I think that's how it came out that Tamatonga attacked Jimmy due to at the orders of Roman Reigns. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen this week. SmackDown news. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot. Like I said, AJ Styles is now the new number one contender for Cody Rhodes' Universal Heavyweight Championship. Tamatonga debuted, took out Jimmy Uso, and then him and Solo led a beat down on Kevin Owens, busted him up, bloodied him open, and yeah, that's pretty much just it for right now that I have. We got SmackDown this Friday night, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Jacob Fatu does debut there and what
I
kind
hope
of
he doesn't
mischief
debut tonight.
and wreckage that the Bloodline is going to cause for everybody on SmackDown.
Before we move on to our AEW section of the show, we also want to bring up Mr. Biggie Langston. I know if you've heard, he's actually stated that he may never be cleared to wrestle again. Stale ass
Yeah, just
news.
due to the injury that he sustained due to just complete freak accident in a match with Ridge Holland. He unfortunately suffered a broken neck. He doesn't hold, like I said, he doesn't hold any ill will towards Ridge Holland. Everything was looking good for him, but unfortunately, just due to the severity of his injury with his broken neck, he posted that he may never be cleared to wrestle again. Obviously, it's still going to be a waiting game to see what's going to happen. But as of now, he doesn't think he'll ever be able to set foot back in the ring, which kind of leads like what will happen with him now? Will he be released by WWE?
I
Will
doubt
he
that.
transition over to backstage segment producer? Will he become an announcer at the desk? Will he be a backstage interviewer? What's going to happen with Big E now?
I don't think he's going to get released. I definitely think they'll find something for him, to keep him around. Kind of like, they did with Corey there. So
With Corey Graves?
Corey Graves. So I definitely think they have something for him. If they do, bruh, that would look so bad on them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't think they want that. So, man, I hope he gets better. This is stale as hell to hear that. But, we have seen people come back that we thought would never come back, i.e. Daniel Bryan, i.e. the Rated R
Adam
superstar
Copeland.
Edge. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a possibility
you
there.
could even say the same thing for Nikki Bella as well, too, because she broke her neck and she was able to come back and have some what looked to be like some good matches. I've never been a big Bella twin fan to begin with, but
You can say, in a sense, Saraya. Saraya. I mean, you could say the same thing. So, but we'll just have to see.
her.
Well, moving on to our AEW stuff, we're going to start off with AEW Rampage. The interesting stuff with that. Now, I haven't been watching Rampage, I'll be honest with you. Usually busy on Fridays, but what's been going on?
Let me get here to where I want to go. So pretty much the happenings with Rampage is obviously we're still dealing with the fallout between the best friends and Trent. Orange Cassidy appears to be having more of a vicious demeanor in his matches, kind of being more aggressive. which is always good to see. Because obviously we all know Orange Cassidy is as the likable, lovable, like, hey, whatever,
He needs to change his name to Grape Cassidy. Well, maybe not Grape, but Apple Cassidy as like the heel persona.
I remember or a couple weeks ago, you were talking about Saraya and Zach Knight. Well, Angelo Parker did take on Zach Knight. Apparently, they've been frequently on ROH for a while, so that's why they haven't been on AEW television. So they've been running roughshod over there on ROH instead of over on AEW.
That's a big mistake, I would say, because I mean, well, maybe not. I could see wanting to get eyes over there onto ROH, but I mean, come on, it's Saraya. You probably paid her a lot of money. You need to have most exposure with her. You know, the fact that we didn't know that she was on ROH. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let me see here what else I could find for Rampage. Obviously, so last Friday night's Rampage was not on. There was something else going on TNT, I believe, another basketball game, so it was moved to Saturday night for right after Collision. That night is where Ruby Soho had announced to Angelo Parker and the audience that she is pregnant. Apparently, Angelo Parker was going to come out and quit AEW because he's, felt like he's in a rut. So, this was, kind of the feel good moment to give him something to fight for. Now that he and Ruby are expecting a child.
Oh, classic. I'm pregnant. Oh, crap. I got to keep my job. Or crap. I got to get a job.
Pretty much. So I wasn't able to catch everything on Collision or Dynamite, just with everything that we had going on this weekend. So I really don't have a whole lot of Rampage news other than just those few things.
Do you want to move on to the story of the Battle of the Belts happening again?
Yeah, I was able to get some info down for Battle of the Belts. Just let me find it here. Got to go through. So Battle of the Belts, we had Roderick Strong taking on Rocky Romero for the international title. Obviously, with this whole new Kyle O'Reilly wanting to do it on his own storyline that they were doing, knew it was going to be a matter of time before Undisputed Kingdom ended up turning on him, and that became evident at Battle of the Belts when Kyle O'Reilly came down to stop the after the match beatdown on Rocky Romero by Undisputed Kingdom via Roderick Strong, Matt Bennett, and Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. Sorry, not Matt Bennett. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. This obviously there was some escalation between Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong backstage when Kyle O'Reilly was wishing Rocky Romero good luck and hopefully that he'll be able to face Rocky Romero for the international title. That, kind of got under Roderick Strong's nerves. Like, oh, you just want to take this title away from me. Okay, we'll see what happens. And obviously Kyle O'Reilly come out trying to do the right thing and stopping the beatdown on Rocky Romero. And that's when he got attacked from behind and essentially ended friendship between Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. So obviously we all knew it was going to happen since Kyle O'Reilly didn't want anybody from Undisputed Kingdom to come out during his matches. He just wanted to do it on his own,
okay.
which I mean, you knew right from
they're not going to like that.
Yeah. And I get it, the brotherhood's supposed to be there for your brothers, yada, yada, yada. But also at the same time, it's like, I mean, he's trying not to rely so much on his friends, and he wants to go out there and put in the work on his own to get the results on his own, so kind of humble, um, humble storyline of Kyle O'Reilly doing it on his own and then being betrayed by his friends. So it definitely made for a good story of when it was going to happen, and it just happened this past Saturday. Nope, last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior at Battle of the Belts.
So,
So we had Athena versus Red Velvet for the ROH Women's title. Obviously, Athena won.
I like Athena.
However, Athena's really, really good. Queen Aminata came out after the match was over to stop the beatdown from Billy Starks and Athena onto Red Velvet. And Queen Aminata appeared to have taken out Athena with her finisher move. So kind of leads the question, will Queen Aminata be the one to finally dethrone Athena for the ROH Women's title?
Interesting. I like Athena. I wish somebody would pick up her husband. Her husband is really good.
Yeah, who's her husband? I think you told me. I just can't remember.
He's so good. Matthew Palmer.
Okay.
He is so good. I wish they would pick him up.
Okay.
Somebody.
And then they had Lexi Nair being the ring announcer for that night, and it doesn't work with her. You either need to bring back Dasha Fuentes as the alternate ring announcer, or leave it to Justin Roberts. But Lexi Nair, she doesn't have the enthusiasm behind her voice like how Dasha or Justin Roberts has when they're being ring announcers. Hers is just more monotone. Okay, this is who it is that's coming out. This is who they're facing. Like, that's already in the ring or whatever. So it just wasn't a good move on AEW's part to let Dasha go. I think she had more characteristics of the personality of being a ring announcer.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't even hear her, so I wasn't sure. I didn't pay attention. So
Yeah, like I said,
that might be a thing right there. I didn't pay attention. That might be a thing to take note. That's evident right there. But yeah. So anything with more of the Battle of the Belts?
Not really. Not so much that. I mean, Hook. Who did Hook fight? I think Hook fought Shane Taylor for the FTW title, and obviously Hook ended up winning. And I believe that's it for Battle of the Belts.
All right.
There really wasn't too much to go on off of that. I mean, it's your typical 1 hour after either Rampage or Collision. So no title changes, kind of uneventful, other than just the Roderick Strong and Undisputed Kingdom turning on Kyle O'Reilly. That was pretty much really the only key takeaway parts from that show.
Okay, in other news, we have there may not be any hard feelings between Punk and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, so Kenny Omega, he has his Twitch stream. He's a big active gamer, and people were asking him, "Oh, what's your reaction? How do you feel about the Bucks releasing the footage from All In?" And he's like, "It is what it is." He's like, "I haven't been a VP in the company since like 2021." Since Tony Khan essentially took over all decisions in the backstage area with booking, storylines, talent relations, stuff like that. So he's like, I can't really say anything to that. He's like, we have each other's numbers. Everything's cool between us. There's no
pretty
hard
much.
feelings.
He said he went in there to save the dog. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I just went into that locker room to save the dog, save the puppy. That was it. And he was like, apparently him and Punk talked to each other over the phone, and they said it was fine, cordial. Like,
Yeah,
there's no hate.
everything's cordial between them. No hard feelings between either of them. So, which is good to know. There's still some civility, respect between a WWE guy and an AEW guy. So, it's always good to see when you can still get that out of uh, an unfortunate event.
Yeah. So that is what it is. And so let's move on to, let's see what else we got here. AEW Dynamite. Do you have anything?
Yeah, let's see. What do we got going on here for Dynamite? Um, so last week's episode of Dynamite, uh, we had the mixed tag match with Willow and Adam Copeland versus Julia Hart and Brody King. Prior to the match, Willow was shown as being attacked by somebody, or they didn't show that part, but they showed her clutching her shoulder, her neck area with Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander trying to figure out who it was that attacked her. She said, she's like, I don't know who attacked me, but I can go out there and work the match. I just need a minute. So essentially, Adam Copeland just worked the match on his own for a little bit until Willow did come out to join the ruckus, so to say. Unfortunately, Team House of Black did end up picking up the win. Brody King pinned Adam Copeland to get that win.
Awesome for Brody King.
Yes, definitely awesome. So it kind of puts him in a potential contender spot for the TNT title. We had the trios tag match with Matthew, Nicholas Jackson, and Okada taking on Pac, Penta, and somebody else. I can't remember who else. But Matthew Jackson, what I thought was funny was he grabbed the mic and started doing commentary while he was in the ring wrestling. What that reminded me of is I went to XPW's Cold Day in Hell pay-per-view, finally their first show back after them calling it quits years prior, and Raven did the same thing. Raven was in a tag match with somebody against who did he fight? I can't even remember who they fought, but I know Raven was in the match and he grabbed the mic and was working the mic while also on the offensive well too, and I
remember Booker T
moment.
doing that too in TNA.
I'm sure he did.
I remember him doing that, and he had like an announcer voice, like, "Oh, and I go right there and I knock his ass out," and he was like, it was funny as hell watching him do that.
Yeah, there was a slingshot cutter by Pac to Matthew Jackson that was actually executed really, really well. So Pac was on the outside of the ring on the apron, slingshotted over and just hit a nasty cutter onto Matthew Jackson that looked really effective, and it actually looked really, really clean, because you know how sometimes you see some slingshot moves that just like
Cody
it doesn't go as planned
Cody
as it should have. Yes,
the Cody cutter.
The springboard cutter.
He missed two of them at at Mania, but hey, I mean that's gonna happen, you know.
The Acclaimed issued a winner take all match for AEW Dynasty. The ROH 6-man title, or 6-man tag team titles, versus the AEW Trios title. And obviously, I know a lot of us were hoping that the Acclaimed would have won, but unfortunately, at the AEW Dynasty pay-per-view, which just happened, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I'm sorry, not the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. The Bang Bang Gang ended up winning that match. So they are now officially ROH 6-man and AEW Trios champions.
Nice.
And apparently Trent is now on a mission to hurt anybody who is associated with or makes an attempt to help Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy was facing Shane Taylor on Dynamite, and Trent came out. I'm sorry. The match was over. Orange Cassidy got the win, but that caused Anthony Ogogo and Lee Moriarty to join Shane Taylor in laying a beatdown on Orange Cassidy. Matt Sydal and who else? Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, I believe, came out to try to make the assist for Orange Cassidy, but Trent was there at the entrance ramp, ready to cut him off and take them out, and allowed Anthony Ogogo to hit his world famous left hand knockout punch on Orange Cassidy.
Interesting.
So this is definitely going to take some turns and twists in regards to Trent and the best, or at least with Orange Cassidy. Anyways,
probably the best feud going on right now in AEW, to be honest. I would say probably
possibly,
like with a story, and maybe more needs to happen, but I think it has potential.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because Chuck is still, or not Chuck, but Trent is still wearing his Orange and Trent with Chuck Taylor Win the Big One t-shirt that he was wearing from a few weeks ago when they lost the tag match against the Young Bucks. So obviously Trent is still reeling from that loss and taking out all of his anger on Orange Cassidy and anybody who dare makes an attempt to help Orange Cassidy. What else do we have? We had Will Ospreay versus Claudio Castagnoli that night. I was unable to catch all of Dynamite, but from what I saw and from what I've heard is that Ospreay Claudio match was the match of the night for Dynamite.
Oh, of course it was going to be.
That one.
I could have told you that before it ever even happened.
Yeah, and I think Ospreay ended up picking up the win over Claudio that night, if I remember correctly.
That's pretty cool.
And then the final memorable event that happened that night was the promo between Samoa Joe and Swerve. And I don't know, did you catch what Swerve did towards the end? He got up onto the top turnbuckle, did a jumping kick down onto the security guards' heads, and stuck the landing.
I didn't see. I need to now. I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to it because I was watching it while I was working, and yeah, I didn't see that, but I did hear the promos between the two.
So Joe was on the outside, surrounded by security. Swerve took to the top rope, jumped, kind of did like a split kick to the security guards' heads, and then stuck the landing right after. And then
I gotta go watch that.
And got into an all-out brawl with Joe. Unfortunately, Joe got the better of the situation, like he does. But just that jump off the top rope by Swerve was pretty something interesting to see. And the fact that he stuck the landing.
That dude is just so freaking good, bro. So I didn't put up a graphic for Destiny. Crap.
For Dynasty?
Dynasty, yeah. Crap.
Yeah, it's all good. We can get into it. Let me see. I know I've got the results.
Sorry, I'm lacking right now.
It's all right. I think we both kind of are. It's been a long week. Let me see. I think I don't have it there, but I do have it here. Okay, so for Dynasty, we had our Okada versus Pac for the international title. Okada ends up winning or ends up retaining that match or the titles. We had Bang Bang Gang versus the Acclaimed. As stated earlier, the Bang Bang Gang wins the AEW Trios title, so they are both your ROH six-man champs and your AEW Trios champs. Jericho versus Hook. Jericho ends up beating Hook and
What?
wins the FTW title, and I think they're going on a storyline for obviously the learning tree aspect that Chris Jericho is. But they're doing it, I believe, to help build Hook up again as a dominant athlete, because this is really his only
Loss.
third loss.
Third
It's his
loss?
third loss. It's his second title loss, but only third loss in his AEW record, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
There were some chants directed at Chris Jericho during that match. A couple of them being "Please retire" and "Fozzy sucks."
Oh man, why they hating on my boy like that, bruh?
And I could see this as Chris Jericho isn't the same as of Chris Jericho old.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's evident that the dude's 53 years old, still wrestling. Obviously, he's lost a step or two in the ring and has
That's
slowed
gonna
down
happen.
immensely a lot. So, and the programs that they've been having with
It's a
Chris
high
Jericho
work rate.
lately,
High work rate programs.
yeah, has just been really high work rate, like you said, and it's just not paying off as much as it once was at AEW's conception back in 2019.
Maybe it's time to take a step back and concentrate on the band and
Something.
yeah.
We had Willow versus Julia Hart for the TBS title. Willow is your new TBS champion.
He powerbombed Symphony Julia Hart. Bruh, what the hell? Why would they do that? I'm all with intergender, but what the hell? I'm just joking. Okay. Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale, I know.
Willow, not
Wardlow.
Willow.
Oh God, that was stupid. I was trying to be stupid, and I really made myself look stupid right there. All right.
However, Willow's celebration was kind of short-lived due to Mercedes Moné coming out and calling her shot, and it is now official. And in Las Vegas at Double or Nothing, Mercedes Moné will be taking on Willow for the TBS title. We will officially see Mercedes Moné wrestle her very first AEW match at a pay-per-view in Las Vegas.
Very good. About time.
So, are we going to see a transitional champion in Willow?
That would be the smart move.
Or I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Bro, they need to pay off. They need to make some dough with Sasha, bro. How much they're paying that girl, bro?
I get that, but again, it leads into they're bringing somebody high profiled in and just giving them the title. It's like my complaint with what they did with Okada, a few weeks ago when they brought him in and had him beat Eddie Kingston for the
just to slap a belt on him. I mean, that's 50 million belts, so
right. So I'm thinking Willow's going to end up retaining over Sasha, or it may count. They may do it may come down to a DQ finish where
I never liked those on pay-per-views.
I know that's why you got to do them sporadically and when necessary. So I don't think it's time yet to put a belt, especially a TBS belt, on Mercedes. I think they're going to have her take a loss. She won't eat the pin, but I think something will happen where Willow will retain the title, but Sasha won't, or Mercedes won't get pinned.
Okay, maybe so. That would be the smart way, probably. But yeah, I mean, they need to do something with Mercedes. They're probably paying her a lot, and they need to get some stuff going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. Next match we had was Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the international title. Obviously, Roderick Strong ends up retaining. Adam Cole now officially appears to be out of his cast because they did bring him back in to come down to the ring with Wardlow and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And if you noticed, when Wardlow was in the ring, Adam Cole was walking behind them all, but giving a menacing glare to Wardlow, like, "Okay, all these guys have titles. Where's your title at?" So I think we're gonna get to a point where Wardlow's gonna end up stuck in the. I mean, it's already obvious that Wardlow's stuck in the same position that they've had him in since he first got brought into AEW, and that's just don't know what to do with him. Like, they have him join a faction and
Become
he
their
ends up getting
muscle.
kicked out. Yeah, pretty much.
But
Uh,
now let's.
we got Will Ospreay versus Brian
That's what I was about to say.
Danielson.
Let's get to that.
Obviously,
I
there
heard it was
point,
a banger.
Yeah, so apparently crowd was chanting, "We're not worthy." So if you get the crowd chanting, "We're not worthy" during that type of match, you know that's going to be a great match. And obviously that was, of course, the match of the night.
Oh well, yeah.
As declared by just about everybody that watched the pay-per-view. There was a point where it looked like Ospreay dropped Brian on the back of his head, or Brian dropped himself on the back of his head. So Ospreay hit his Tiger Driver 93 on Brian Danielson, and it almost looked like he landed on the top part of his neck, kind of like where you're not supposed to land. And when Brian Danielson was trying to hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, looked like he dropped himself on the top of his head. So apparently he didn't injure himself, but he made it to look like he did, to where it was kind of like it was part of the storyline to make it look like he had injured himself.
Gotcha.
But I do know that at the media scrum, Will Ospreay said he was going to retire his Tiger Driver 93. He's like, with wrestling someone like Brian Danielson, who has a history of neck issues and almost lost his career, he's like, it's not worth it. He was also asked about his comment that he made in regards to referencing Triple H about him grinding up on the boss's wife.
He regrets it now.
he regretted it. He's like, I shouldn't have stooped to that level. I did. I just want to move forward now and focus more and push AEW as much as I can. He's like, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to wrestle. This is what's most important to me, is just pushing AEW and the talent and himself. So it's good to see that he acknowledged what he said. He shouldn't have said it, but he did. And he's just going to move forward. He's going to look past it and just continue to grind away.
Very good on him. But, I mean, cat's out of the bag on that, bro. I hope to still see that boy in WWE one day, and I hope that's still a possibility, but time will tell.
Right. So we had Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, Eddie Kingston versus the House of Black. House of Black wins that match, and Malachi Black pinned Adam Copeland in this one. So potentially could be another good contender for the TNT title match. Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black. Definitely going to be a big one. Next, we had our finals of the World Tag Team Eliminator Tournament. We had FTR versus the Bucks. And we had a surprise return from the Scapegoat, who helped the Bucks win the tag team titles. As you saw, I don't know if you saw the pay-per-view, but it was Cash Week. I always get them confused. I think it's no Dax Harwood was up on the ladder getting ready to grab the titles when someone in a mask jumped the barricade, slid into the ring, pushed the ladder over, and security scrambled to grab the man, got him in the corner, ripped the mask off, and you see the smug little smirk on
Eh,
Jack Perry's face.
I did see clips of it. I didn't watch the pay per view all the way. I watched the match with Osprey and Brian Danielson. That I watched.
hmm
I watched this match. Well, like the clips of him returning.
And somebody had actually posted a video that they took at the pay per view, and they actually followed said Jack Perry through the crowd, and they're like, "That's got to be him." He's like, "There's no one here wearing that kind of mask," and he's pacing back and forth, in the ring area, and then it shows him, and then they're like, "Yeah, that's got to be him. That's got to be him." And sure enough, he throws the popcorn down, hops over the barricade. They're like, "Yes, it's him. It's him. It's him." And sure enough, gets into the ring, pushes the ladder over, grabbed by security. The mask gets ripped off, and the crowd just goes crazy when they see the reveal
Good.
that it's Jack Perry, the scapegoat. So there is, and isn't that what I said on the last time we shot this? Was that Jack Perry was going to be the one to come in and help
Yeah.
FTR,
Good
or
call.
not FTR, but the Bucks get them tag titles, and it made sense.
So, what'd you think of the pay per view altogether? Solid.
I think it was a very solid pay-per-view. We still had Tony Storm versus Thunder
Oh,
Rosa
sorry. I'm leaving off
for
the stuff.
the
There are a
for
lot of
the
matches.
for the AEW Women's title. Tony Storm obviously ended up retaining. Did you see her interview at the media scrum
I didn't see
when
that.
she's like, she looked over at Tony Khan. She's like, "Tony, no matter what happens, I will never call, like, no matter how many stories I finish or however many things happen, I will never call you down to the ring to celebrate with me." Obviously, the biggest shot at Cody
That's
Rhodes,
funny.
a most obvious thing, and it was pretty funny to hear. And with it just being Tony Storm and her timeless Tony Storm
I love
accent
the
that she does,
character. I love the character.
It was hilarious just the way how she said
That
it.
was amazing. She thought of that. That is unlike anything. Definitely right
Uh,
now.
and then finally, our main event was Swerve versus Joe.
I
Uh,
forgot about the main event. God, that's I wanted to get to
for
that
the
one.
AEW title, and we officially have a brand new AEW heavyweight champion in Swerve Strickland. So,
Yes.
I mean, we are now going into the second quarter of the year, and we now have a new AEW World Champion. And I
Well
think the
deserved.
reason,
Well needed. Been needing to
uh,
happen.
definitely, and he had actually stated, he's like, when I was in that program with Hangman Page and I did the home invasion angle, and the crowd like kind of got behind me on that because they hadn't seen something like that in a long time. He's like, that's kind of when the crowd got behind me, and so he's like, I started leaning into that, being more and more, going more, uh, being a baby face. He's like, but definitely being able to win this title. Now, he said he's the first African American world champion. What about Nyla Rose? Isn't she? I know she's Native American, but is she also African American as well
She's
too? Is
black.
she mixed race?
Yeah, she's black.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but
So when
is he
so
though? Is he the first world champion?
well, I mean,
Yeah,
if
I think I
if
can only think of a few of them, but none of them are black.
well, again, we just discussed Nyla Rose, so
Well,
technically he's
that
not.
yeah. Maybe he was
So
thinking of maybe in the men's division.
probably in the men's division, maybe. Hopefully, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
But
that's my
yes,
guess.
he's definitely. Did you see, like, he almost came out looking like Black Panther in his ring outfit that he wore when he was coming out through the tunnel.
That's pretty cool. I
yeah,
like him
that's
more as
essentially
a Ulysses Claw, or not Ulysses Claw. Freaking oh crap. Uh, Black Panther's nemesis in the first movie,
Killmonger.
Killmonger. I like him more as a Killmonger type. You know what I'm saying?
I could see that. But yeah, that's essentially an AEW Dynasty all wrapped up right there. I mean, we had uh 3 title changes, some unexpected pins. We had the return of the scapegoat, Jack Perry, which is definitely going to be interesting to see what direction they go with him being back in AEW now.
Yeah.
Um, I think we're going to get into a program between Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. I think we're going to get into that here coming up soon. It's going to be interesting to see who the first challengers are for the Young Bucks and the AEW tag titles. Um, I think Tony Storm's going to end up losing the title here soon. I'm just not 100% sure as to who it will be that she'll be dropping the title to. Would like to see it be against Jamie Hayter whenever she returns back from the injured list, or maybe even I want to see Nyla Rose have a actual
That'd be
title
good.
run, because when she won it was in Austin, but COVID hit and then it was shut down, and then just a few months later Hikaru Shida won it and held on to it for a full year. So Hikaru
Yeah, it's probably
Shida
time for her to.
got to have a run with fans in attendance, where Nyla Rose really didn't get all that much time to be in an arena with fans as your women's
Yeah, I
champion.
think it's time for her to. Let's see it. Um. So
What do we got next?
So let's move on to a couple of rapid fire stories. We have the Motor City Machine Guns 2 AEW.
Yep. Where was that? Let me see where I saw that at. I believe it got here in my notes. Let me see. I just gotta find it.
Pretty much somebody said
Hard having-
AEW needs the guns, so
Oh yeah, per Cassidy Haynes with Bodyslam.net confirms that the Motor City Machine Guns are headed to AEW. So I was hoping that they would have, like I said before, hoping that after they won, after the Bucks won the titles at Dynasty, that Motor City Machine Guns would be the first ones to step up and
another empty
challenge them.
another empty arena match. Hell yeah.
that would definitely be fun to see. Obviously that would have to be taped earlier in the day before the show starts. But yeah, that would definitely be a good one to get revisited through.
But yeah, I'm excited to see him in AEW, and I hope we see him sooner than later. And I hope they get their good push, because I mean, both these guys are getting kind of up there in age themselves, so they got a little while. They got a little while left, but not long.
Chris Sabin is a TNA original.
Yeah.
Alex Shelley came in just a few years later.
They're all about AJ's age, so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for them to get a little more spotlight for a little while before they, make their exit out of the world of professional wrestling.
Before they finally sail off into the sunset.
All right. Next thing we got the AEW Fight Forever game, $10 at Walmart and Amazon. That is not a good sign.
No, it's not a good sign, but like I said, physical media all around is dying as a result. I mean, everybody's just buying all their stuff digital and just going streaming services for movies, TV shows. But it is kind of disappointing to see that.
Well,
AEW,
the thing is, it is going, but from $60 to $10, that is deep. That's deep. That you can't use that excuse as to this game going down to $10. That is bargain bin prices. Now they did do a clearance sale, but apparently this wasn't part of the Walmart clearance sale because it also went for $10 on Amazon. And I'm not trying to talk bad about the Fight for Everything. I enjoyed the game. I liked the game. I thought it was kind of a good classical wrestling game. I got it on the Switch. I enjoy it. But a lot of people didn't. And after I saw the problems that it had, I understood.
So do you think they rushed to get the game out too quickly?
No, they didn't because they delayed it multiple times. It wouldn't even give. I don't know. I think they. That could be a thing in a way, but they didn't. I think they made the wrong kind of game. It was more cartoony and more kind of like arcadey. I think they should have basically have maybe made an actual wrestling sim, like maybe like like the WWE 2K series. That's what people really wanted, was a wrestling sim more than so just an arcade kind of throwback Ukes game like this.
Well, wasn't so I know AEW had come out with like a mobile game that seemed to be more arcade style, but
No, this very arcade.
This was okay.
It's if you, I'd have to show. I know you're not really a big gamer, but like I would have to show you the differences. Like, because WWE plays like a wrestling sim. This was more arcade. It was kind of like No Mercy. It played a lot like No Mercy, just expanded. Like back in the 64 games, it played kind of like a 64 game, which was cool for nostalgia. And then I don't know, they had a lot of weird bugs with it, but I still had fun with it. I still enjoyed it. But a lot of people didn't. And I didn't realize that it didn't sell very well. That's a foregone conclusion. It didn't review very well. IGN even had it as probably one of the worst releases of last year. I don't agree with that at all. I think it was good. What worries me,
I mean, that kind of leads into the whole aspect of it being rushed to get a game.
Maybe
out,
so.
You know what I'm saying?
And what scares me now is that we won't get another one.
I think we will, but I think this will give AEW a reason to kind of take their time in getting an actual video game.
What scares me,
video game.
Well, what scares me, the only reason why this is even out is because Tony funded half of it out of pocket.
Right.
He didn't have a major.
Well, and I mean, he wanted to get a video game out as quickly as possible.
But after that, do you think he'll have the funding to put out a very good video game, you know?
I think he will. I think he kind of needs to slow down on signing as many wrestlers as he can to obviously their already bloated roster.
I wanted this game to be a smash hit. I wanted it so bad. I didn't, because I talked to a lot of friends and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to pick it." I was like, "You don't already have it?" They're like, "No, I pre-ordered, but I canceled my pre-order when I heard stuff about it and stuff." And I was like, "Well, damn." I was the only one. I went, paid the full $60 pre-order, everything, got Matt Hardy as the pre-order bonus, but it now I have not, because they wanted to kind of play the live service stuff with it. They wanted it to be, because they've released characters and levels and seasons, and I don't know how many people really invested into that. So I don't know. I would like to see maybe take another chance, maybe release a $40 version, maybe like the definitive edition of Fight Forever with all the seasons included. I think that would be the next smart step, is to maybe release like a definitive edition, AEW Fight Forever definitive edition, or championship edition with all the DLC included. I think that would be the logical, put a $40 price tag and get some sales. But that's just my take on it. I just hate to see it. I couldn't believe it. Like when I was like, really? And I was like, oh, well, you know, my Walmart's clearance and stuff. Cause like you said, they are clearance and stuff, cause they're going to have a smaller, physical game section. But no, then it came up on Amazon and I was like, well, no, it's not part of the clearance. So, I mean, I just hate to see it. I hope to get another AEW game. I hope to get one kind of like in the vein of WWE 2K, actual wrestling sim, rather than just kind of an arcadey kind of, you know, it runs on the Switch. That should tell you something.
Right.
You know, like it runs on the Switch, just like it runs on the Xbox Series X or the PS5. No difference. And I mean, faster load times on the other consoles, but the Switch version runs, and you have to have a pretty low powered game to run fluently on the Switch, which it does. So, but I mean, I just hate to see it, but time will tell. Hopefully, we get another one, you know?
Yeah. All we could do is just wait and hope.
All right, moving on. Let's see what else we have here. Before we switch back over the last few. Okay, let's get into this. This one I'm kind of about, but what happened?
Yeah, so this past week, last week, AEW was in Oklahoma for Dynamite, and
I hate Oklahoma.
they sent a letter. Apparently, let's see what happened here. I had it written down. Let's see. I just gotta find it. So essentially, what it was their athletics commission, the Oklahoma Athletics Commission, sent a letter to AEW, to Tony Khan, giving them a warning about having Nyla Rose, uh, in their words, a born male wrestle a female at their show. It just goes to show you that transphobia is very heavily a thing, especially in certain states such as Oklahoma. It's just really aggravating because they're not taking
Now,
in.
can I make
Go ahead.
my and my whole point?
Mm-hmm.
Because we maybe a little conflicting, but not much.
We're going to be conflicting.
So, okay, no, you might not. I am not really for biological men competing against biological women in sports. I don't think it's fair. That's just me personally. But this right here, there's no point. There's no harm. It's professional wrestling. She's not hurting anybody. She's not intentionally competing against anybody. It's a different thing, and it's not hurting no one. So there's no reason for this. This is just dumb. Is how I feel about it. It's predetermined. It's predetermined. She's not doing any harm. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but also at the same time, who she is as a person, how, whether she was born biological male, whatever, inside she was female all along, so all she did was just go and reflect that on the outside, how she
I
truly
get that
felt
part. And
she
I like
was on the
Nyla.
inside,
I'm subscribed to her
you know,
YouTube. I like her a lot. She's an avid
but
video game head like me. Everything. But we're not going to get too much into that stuff. I don't think that's just my opinion. I don't agree with competing against, you know what I'm saying? But she's not competing. She's just entertaining. And there's nothing wrong with that.
well, I mean, she technically is. She's competing. I mean, she's competing against other females in the world of professional wrestling.
But it's
You know,
not hurting anybody. It's not.
it's no, it's not hurting anybody. Neither is when women who happen to transition from men to women who are women. They're doing the same thing, whether it's swimming, softball, volleyball, golf, whatever. I mean, that's who they are on the inside. It's
Let's not, bro. Please. Yeah, though I don't want to open this can of worms, but I studied this a lot, and I have a lot of stuff to really question this stuff. And I have nothing against trans people at all. I mean, I'm related to trans people. But it's just, but in this specific thing here, I have no problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not doing harm to anybody. It's really not. And I think it's dumb on Oklahoma, and I think it made them look stupid, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So Tony Khan has come out and said he's shocked and he's sad at what he got from the athletic commission in Oklahoma. I think he should have came out and took more of a harsher stance, saying until you
Well, yeah, it's stupid.
change your very bigoted, transphobic views on this, we're no longer going to do business in the state of Oklahoma.
Sorry, give me one second. I'm about to.
And I'm going to say trans rights are humans' rights. That's how I feel. Whether, people agree with me,
Sorry about that.
disagree with me, that's my feelings. And, trans women are women, trans men are men. That's just it, hands down. So.
Yeah, I believe that too. I'm just not a fan of them competing in an athletic thing, especially fighting. I don't know if you've seen the UFC, the MMA fighters that are yeah. But that's that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah, preferably one when we're not on here. All I know is trans rights are humans' rights. Trans men are men, trans women are women, women. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect anybody.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to compete, they can. I just don't agree with it. But am I part of the athletic commission? Am I competing against them? No. So it doesn't matter what the fuck I think. But that's just me.
So Nyla Rose, you have my support.
You have mine too.
100% a fan of yours, and she's also a juggalo. She's a technician. So whoop whoop. And
she's also a avid gamer, which I watch her YouTube. Gamer. She's a retro collector like me. She likes a lot of cool shit, so I love her to death. But
Nyla Rose is a dope human being. Much love to her. Keep whooping it out there.
Do your thing.
Just keep being you. And actually, Tony Khan had actually made her a guest host for Dynamite. Now, she wasn't obviously at the show, but she was interacting online with fans and reaching out to people. And she has shown how much she appreciates the outpouring of love and support that she got after what happened.
And who gives a shit about Oklahoma? Like, it's Oklahoma. Like, it's not going to kill anybody to not go there. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? It's Oklahoma. They got some good tacos, Indian tacos, but that's literally it. So it's, who gives a shit what they think?
Yeah.
Nyla Do your Rose, thing, Nyla.
Said, you go, girl. That's it.
Do your thing. All right. Next thing. What do we have? Do we switch over to the... Oh, yeah. Sanga had some pretty choice words after getting released.
Yeah, so apparently he went on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and had some pretty harsh things to say. He's like, you want to talk about how you want to get more into representing the country of India, but yet you're not doing anything to promote us or our people. And
it seems like every time they get an Indian good superstar, like I was really excited for Koya when he joined. Nahabali Shira, and he never even made it to TV. He was part of a crew called the Desi Hit Squad that they had down in NXT. I thought they're gonna be badass. Quietly released him.
He was really good. He was in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then he went, I believe he showed up a few times when they reverted back to TNA, and he was featured in the Wrestlers documentary on Netflix.
But he's right.
He is. Like, you keep talking about you want to represent us and our culture, but yet you don't do anything to push us and our culture. Like, so what's the point of even signing, people of Indian descent? Like,
I know at one time they signed a bunch of them, like the whole Desi Hit Squad and all them, and
Veer
Bollywood
was
Boys.
also one who was Bollywood Boys. They had a run in NXT and on the main roster with Jinder Mahal.
Only
Uh,
Jinder really did it, and that was short lived. He was the only one that was a
mhm.
champion, and that wasn't for long.
Nah, yeah, and WWE just they released Veer. Veer as well was one of the unfortunate ones who just got released as well. Um, but he makes really valid points. I mean, let me see if I could find find it because I did take a screenshot and I thought I sent it to you. Let me see. Sangha released a video today where he criticized WWE for wanting Facebook, YouTube, and TV viewership from India, but when it comes to pushing Indian talent, WWE has been resistant to that idea. Uh, he said at the end he sounds almost wishful that Indians boycott WWE.
Yeah, I did hear
Um,
that part also. I mean, I don't know how that's gonna work, but I mean, he has a valid point, very valid point.
he really does. Is even NXT UK still around, or is that done for?
That's
It's done
done
for,
for.
right?
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be NXT Europe gonna transition to that, but that's been kind of radio silent also.
yeah. WWE went through all this trouble to get a tryout center down in India and to recruit the talent down there. And in fact, that's where William Regal actually officially had his last match with WWE was a few years ago when he was down there opening up the the performance center down in India. And uh, one of the recruits that they were scouting went in a full-on one-on-one match with William Regal, and that was William Regal's very last match with WWE before he would just go on to be manager of NXT and end up being released and going over to AEW to work with Blackpool Combat Club. Um, so WWE just need to do better with your talent from India. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I agree. And I mean, it seems like a lot of like I don't know. It seems like every time they get somebody good with from like of India descent, they don't really, except for Jinder Mahal. And I mean, he was on top for a little bit, but it didn't last very long. So
mm-mm.
it's like they tried and they're just like, never mind. And I don't know. They got to figure out something there. But this dude does have some valid points. I would have to
Mm-hmm.
agree with him. All right. So next up, let's jump into rumors that Eric Rowan will be making his return to WWE as part of the Wyatt family.
Yeah, so apparently Eric Rowan had just canceled a bunch of his indie dates uh, due to he didn't specify why he canceled, but he was seen in Pittsburgh not too long ago. Uh, and what a lot of people are assuming is that because since that's where talent goes to get cleared uh, to go back into the ring, um, they're thinking that they're going to be bringing him back in for the Wyatt Six faction, obviously regarding with Uncle Howdy, um, and I think there's rumor that it's going to be Uncle Howdy. I think Alexa Bliss is going to be involved in it as well when she returns.
And there's rumor about somebody
Um,
else.
Potentially, yes.
Should I throw it up
And
on the
is
screen
that
now?
yeah? Pull it on up. Matt Hardy is officially no longer contracted with AEW. Um, there is rumors that he will be returning to WWE to take part in the Wyatt Six faction. However, just this past Saturday night, he returned, or actually, yeah, returned to TNA at the Rebellion pay per view.
That's pretty cool.
To with the proclamation to win the TNA title. He didn't use those terms exactly. I wish I could
But I
find out
definitely
what it
think
was that he
TNA could be
said,
like
but
somewhere to work for now until he transitions, you know?
Yeah, but he did state he is in talk with AEW and WWE as well, but he's just doing his own thing right now. Obviously, with him showing up in TNA to win the world title, it's possible that they're just keeping him on an open contract, not really signing him to anything unless until he decides what direction he actually wants to pursue. So this is, and the reason why a lot of speculation is happening is because he even posted one of those QR codes on his Twitter account, um, with the spoilers for the Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six and all that stuff. So that's where those rumors have come in into play that he will be jumping ship back to WWE to partake in the Wyatt Six faction. Um, Also, a little bit of extra wrestling news is Jeff Hardy's contract. They were thinking wasn't going to be up for quite some time, but now it turns out that it actually may be up sooner than expected. If Tony does not add on the time that he was out for injury, as well as the sabbatical that they made him take due to his most recent DUI and arrest. So that's going to be interesting to see. Will the Hardys return back to WWE? Will they return to TNA wrestling? Who could guess where the Hardys might end up? Will Matt end up back in WWE with the Wyatt Six, or will he just explore free agency for a while and just go wherever he wants to go?
I think we'll see him back in WWE before long.
I think so. Whether or not Jeff joins him is going to be another story to see.
That's going to be a while.
I think Jeff has finally burnt the last bridge in WWE.
Maybe so. I mean, we don't.
I think.
We've seen. I mean, we thought CM Punk did. You know, we thought. You know, we saw Cody. We thought Cody did, but we'll have to see. Maybe if Jeff can prove himself for a little while that he's on the straight and narrow. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we can see the Team Extreme back doing their thing in the WWE ring. So,
yeah, but it's been the same Jeff Hardy scenario for. I mean, the first time he was let go from WWE for his alcoholism. I mean, he'll go straight and narrow for a while, and then he's put in a predicament where he ultimately gives in to his demons.
And I'm somebody that dealt with addiction myself. I understand. It's a battle every day. It's a constant battle every day. It's not easy. So I'm not gonna shit on him too much, but you do burn bridges eventually, bro. People get tired of dealing with you. I thought he was done for good after he ruined that TNA pay-per-view, ruined the main event. I don't see how he came back from that. You know, like all those people paid their money to see Sting versus Jeff Hardy.
And it was done and over in 9 seconds.
Yeah, I thought that was done. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope he's going to join the Wyatt Six. I think that would be a great. I think that would. I know Bray's not there. It's not going to be the same without Bray, but I think he would add a lot to it to kind of make up that, which nobody's going to make up Bray, but
no, but I think
it'll help.
I think what the deal is obviously Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas, Matt Hardy, Eric Rowan, Alexa Bliss, and I think Braun Strowman will be all five, and then I think they're going to carry around a lantern for Bray Wyatt, resembling all six.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Uncle Howdy and stuff. I love that whole thing they have going on there with Wyatt. And I always love his vision and stuff. I just hope they keep the vision good without him there.
Right.
So, but time will tell. So, what else? I think that's it for now, man. I'm trying to look.
I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. So, yeah, we covered a lot.
What about the Vince McMahon thing?
Which one? Oh, yeah, let me throw it back up to WWE. Okay.
Okay.
Vince McMahon opening his own promotion.
yeah, so apparently,
Oh, I don't even need it. Like, we're not putting WWE up there. I should have grabbed some from Vince McMahon.
well,
Sorry, I threw this together.
I thought when we were going through it at the beginning, I thought you had
Did
a
I?
Vince McMahon picture up there. I thought you
I
did.
did not. Well, he doesn't need to be on my podcast anyway, so.
No. So yeah. So apparently, the rumor is that he could potentially start his own new wrestling promotion. Unfortunately, though, he has to wait a full year um, from the time he left or was kicked out of WWE uh, till he could actually start a new wrestling promotion, and which I believe won't be until January 26th of 2025 when he is officially uh, free of the 1 year um, to be able to start a new wrestling promotion. Um, so as you and I we were discussing earlier in the week, he's in order to get people to join him in this new wrestling promotion, if that is what he's going to be doing, uh, uh, he's going to have to pay out some buku bucks.
It's going to be nothing but big, muscly, attractive dudes because we all know that's what he likes.
Pretty much. So, and will anyone want to work for him after this comes out?
I don't I don't think this is going to happen, to be honest with you. I doubt it. And I'm not saying he won't try, but I don't think
Right.
I think nearly mostly all, I don't think he'd be able to get enough wrestlers to join him to get a decent roster going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody, bruh, he better sell every share he got because he's going to have to pay some people to even be seen on something that you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take of it. I hope he doesn't. It's like, dude, give it up, bro. You're like 90. Like, seriously, go sit in your nice mansion and go fascinated about shitting on women in your nice mansion up in Connecticut and just leave
Yeah.
this shit alone
So,
if you're not in
so
jail.
yeah. So they did a story on to what he's been up to since he's been gone. Apparently, he's been doing a a puppy donation ordeal, like for
He brought, I don't think he was donating. I
for
think he
for
brought, I think he
or
was on
yeah.
an
Well,
island
he was he went to
and
somewhere and was
he
helping
brought it back for his
run an
grandkids.
adoption for puppies. Uh, he's been in contact with a with someone else. You already know I'm not a big fan of this person, but he's been in contact with our former president of the United States. Apparently, they don't discuss any of their legal proceedings that they're going through, but they do stay in contact with each other. He's also been in contact with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena on a semi-regular basis.
I heard he's
Um,
also eating at expensive restaurants, working out every day, pretty much just living life.
yeah, pretty much is doing
But
what
is
he's
still concerned
normally
about
does.
his legal ordeal at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
you better enjoy it while
Apparently,
you can.
yeah, and apparently this is news. I took a screenshot of this and was going to share with you earlier. Oh, wrong thing. Uh, let me get to it here. So he had actually put out a statement in regards to the Janelle Grant lawsuit, and this is via Twitter. Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com. This man has filed a motion to compel arbitration in the Grant v. WWE et al. Case. As expected, McMahon's defense is that the NDA he and Janelle Grant agreed to contains an arbitration clause, and therefore this dispute should go to private arbitration. McMahon says Grant's outrageous claims of sexual abuse and coercion are pure fiction, plainly intended to garner publicity, and are flatly contradicted by plaintiff's own contemporaneous statements. He says he and Grant engaged in a consensual relationship during which defendant never coerced plaintiff into doing anything and never mistreated her in any way. So pretty much he's denying it, saying that the NDA that she signed meant they need that any legal proceedings are to be done in private, not be made publicly. And of course, he's saying, no, it was mutual between the two of us. I never forced her to do anything that she didn't want to do. But texts were revealed that kind of says otherwise.
Yeah.
To
I think he's in
what
trouble.
he's saying, huh?
I think he's in trouble. So that's
He's definitely in trouble. He's just trying to backpedal. No, I didn't do anything wrong. You know,
like I said, like people, these allegations come out about people. I'm like, oh, let's wait for the facts. I'm like, no, maybe not. With him, I'm like, oh, that son of a bitch did it. Like, you know, just hearing all the stuff you hear about this guy, he's weird as hell. Allegedly, I think he's, you know, there's a lot of truth to this stuff. So,
also at the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view just this past Saturday night, Santana. You remember Santana?
oh, Mike
from
Santana. My
Ortiz?
little nephew told me that he came. He made his debut back. He made his return.
Yes, he has re-signed with TNA Wrestling and returned just this past Saturday night at Rebellion.
I'm not a fan. I wanted to see him in WWE. That's just me. But not everybody can be a WWE. I get that. So good for TNA.
And then the last bit of news that I have is there is teasing of a potential AJ Lee return to WWE.
Oh, why did I?
And this was kind of hinted at as prior to Monday Night Raw just last week. They were airing the Fight with My Family movie, which is based off of Paige's real life story. And I guess they were showing the clip of Zelina Vega, who portrayed AJ Lee in Fighting with My Family, as a potential Easter egg for a possible return of AJ Lee to WWE. So that might be something to keep an eye out for.
I think she's like managing an indie company right now, like a women's indie company. Wrestling. I know she was doing, like, she was a producer or something. She was doing something with him, just like how CM Punk, he this like kind of minor league regional MMA company. He's kind of doing commentary for him and stuff. So I think she's doing some stuff out there. I think she got like a fashion line or something too.
I know she wrote a book. She did a book tour a few years ago because she made a stop here through Austin, and I think somebody came out to see her. I think maybe it was Bailey came out to see her at that stop here in Austin. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know somebody did come out to see her. I know
Bailey lives there
on her. I think she still lives in Northern California.
Bailey?
Yeah.
She may have moved back, but I know she was living in Austin.
Well, wasn't that also when she was dating Aaron
Solo? Yeah, well? So like maybe after they split, she might have moved, but she was living there.
Possibly.
Because she was supposed to be... well, there's stuff happened with the promotion there that they were going to open up a wrestling school, and she was going to be the main trainer. Well, like yeah. And for that to be, she had to live there, and she was living there at the time. And she would pop up a lot at indie shows with Aaron. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe she kept her house in California, but she was staying in Austin a whole lot. But that's beside AJ Lee. Yeah. You know, I'm surprised we haven't seen Brandy Rhodes make her come back to anything. I guess she took her hint after all that.
Well, so if you noticed that at night 2 of WrestleMania, when Brandy came out with Cody, or right after Cody, I think she got a bigger pop than Cody did.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure she did.
I don't know. She may come back. I don't know, because like her I'm sorry, her run in AEW was a mixed bag, was a dumpster fire. I'm sorry, nothing against her.
No, it really was. And then she created that faction that had
That was
uh
so cringy.
Awesome Kong, Luther, and somebody else. I can't remember what the name of the little group was that
I
she started with them
forgot.
was.
I don't know if I want to
Um,
remember, but I remember Dave Meltzer saying, "I wonder when somebody's finally going to tell poor Brandy that creative ain't got nothing for her," when that came out. And I was like, "Oof, oof." But hey, I'm not saying that she doesn't have anything to give. She does. She has some talent.
mhm.
She's good. Not the best in-ring performer. Not really good at all. But I'm being honest here. I think she has stuff to offer. You
Right.
know,
No, she definitely does. Um,
she has talents to offer, and I think she will do really good in some fashion. Maybe just as Cody support or something. You know.
right. Yeah, and I think her coming out with him night 2 at WrestleMania, I think if she just stayed out there, I mean, she probably could have just sat there at the timekeeper's table. But given how crazy that match was going to get, I think the best spot for her was either going to be in the crowd sitting watching or backstage at Gorilla.
Was it the Nightmare Family?
No, it wasn't the Nightmare
No, that's
Family.
Cody's kind of faction.
It was something we'd have to
I
go
think it
back
was
to.
family, but that's beside the point. Anyway, AJ
Yeah.
Lee, I'm glad to see her back. I don't know where she's been. I'm surprised she's been gone this long. Like, I thought she still had a lot more left. You know?
She did, but I mean, she also had, the history of the neck issues
Yeah, and
with wrestling and
she,
stuff like that.
and I don't know if you've seen her in person. She's very small. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always like, "Ugh." Like whenever she would do some crazy stuff or something would happen to her, I was always like, because I know how little she is. Not
Hmm.
saying that, she's not durable, but it is just, I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel you. Um, but that's pretty much it, man. I mean, we've pretty much covered everything from the last 2 weeks into tonight's episode, and kind of covered some stuff that I also had prepped up ready to go. So we could pretty much just go ahead and just do this one
Alrighty.
episode for this week, and then come back at them again next week, man.
Sounds good. Oh, quick announcement. I don't know if you guys noticed, but SP took down all his pops and he is selling them at a big discounted rate. Link underneath is here. He's doing 75% off his whole pop collection. More on that
uh
later. He has the
uh
link. We have the link underneath here. You can see they're all gone. So, all right, man. I'm proud of you. You making that money.
um not gonna lie, the thought has crossed the mind to kind of scale
Don't do
back
it.
on
Don't do
what
it.
we own Funko Pop wise. I mean, we haven't bought anything
I would hope you'd be
off
like,
of
no, hell no, screw you.
uh no, but I mean, we got some things coming up, and we have an overabundance of collection that we just have no room for, and just doesn't really have any sort of sentimental value to us. So yes, so that will be coming soon, and when that officially does happen, yes, I will have Dropkick Zombie at a link where you could hit me up and inquire about the pops that we have for sale.
Well, damn, this is actually leading to something real. I thought it was going to be like, screw you, dude. No, I'm not.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I, ain't
I
never
love my
giving up on
pops. I love my pops.
We love our pops, man. We love our pops, man. No, the only ones I would not get rid of are the ones that are signed, like to me, especially ones that I had personalized.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
I
I've got a Captain Spaulding one that Sid Haig signed for me when he was in Bastrop for the first year that they did Cult Classic Convention, man, and I got him
It's
to
awesome.
sign it and got pictures with him and everything like that. That is right there, my hands down top pop in our collection. So
I
that one I'm definitely never getting rid of.
I never told you this because I didn't want to disappoint you, but I parted ways with my whole wrestling figure collection. except for those up there. My maximum sweat, because I don't know, those were some of the I remember fondly of when I was a kid. Plus, a friend gave them to me. Really
Mhm.
good Chris gave them to me, so I'm always going to keep those. And you can see my AJ Styles up there. I kept him and my Samoa Joe behind him, but that's about all I kept. I obsess over things, and especially with the AEW. I was buying them every time they came out, the whole sets, and I was getting obsessive, and they were just sitting there. I didn't have nowhere to display them neither in this new place. So, because I've done total video game theme, so I was just like, well, I got to part ways because, like,
Mhm.
they were sitting there in the box, and I was like, I think somebody else would enjoy them. So,
Right.
and plus, it's nice not running to the toy section now, looking for the new line and seeing if I can get lucky. So,
Yeah.
I already
Yeah.
collect enough things.
Yeah, and I still go and look whenever I'm at Walmart or Target or whatever. I'll still go look and see if they have anything new. Target's kind of gotten scarce on their AEW figs. And Walmart, like occasionally they'll get in new shipments, but there's still stuff from like uh Unrivaled, like season 2 with like Nyla Rose
I've
and
seen
Lance
that.
Archer and the Bucks and Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky and all them old early ones that were coming out, from like wave 3 and up.
Yeah. Um, and me, like how I am, like I can't just get a few that I like. I have to get the whole set. Even if I don't like the wrestler, I have to have them all.
Hmm.
And I was like, I can't
Yeah.
keep going like this. 100 and every couple weeks, 100 and something dollars. I was like, I could be
Hmm.
buying video games, which is really what
Right.
I am. I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm a gamer dude, collector more than anything.
Yeah.
So, but well, man,
So
I'm getting
that
hungry.
about wraps it up for us. And if anybody out there listening has any comments, options, opinions that they want to share with us, topics of stories that they want us to cover, again, man, reach out to us, either Dropkick Zombie or myself, SP. Um, like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Man, we're trying to grow. We're trying to take over the world.
Of wrestling. Nah, fuck it,
Yes,
the
the world of
world.
wrestling.
The
The
world.
world of wrestling podcasts. Obviously, there's going to be other better podcasts out there, man. We're just two
More
guys who
options.
just are just having fun, man. But definitely spread the word out. We're gonna hopefully try to start expanding into other areas of streaming to fulfill your podcast needs. Me and just Dropkick Zombie, man, we just got to get together in person and work everything out to where we can make it happen.
But well, we appreciate everybody, and like I said, like he said, we're gonna try to expand as much as we can. We need to get our marketing going a little bit. It's just been very busy for me lately. It's my busy season right now, the summer.
Hmm.
So,
I
but
think I think we need to get a ring rundown Instagram, so that way they can reach out to us on there. Um, Again, jump
and then
get
there
us put up
will,
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever, man, anywhere we can.
and
Infect your ear
then
holes.
another thing that I wanted to talk. I'm actually going to be separating this podcast from Fat Zombie Entertainment. Pretty soon coming up. I will let you know when it happens. Only problem I'm having, you can't directly port them over to another channel, so I have to go back and get all of our videos and upload them all again, like to one channel. So I'm going to be working on that soon. So I will let you guys know. I will link it when it's time to our new YouTube channel. That's going to be completely the Ring Rundown channel. So, and
Yes. So we are definitely working on making some changes to our format, guys. So just bear with us while we're still working everything out, man, and we will
it's a
keep
lot of
bringing
work.
you some content that you
And
otherwise may be missing out on.
it's just the two of us that are working on this. So keep that. We're not this big, podcast studio that has employees and then just two guys trying to do this. So just bear with us there.
Just two wrestling guys, like it says in the
Yeah.
intro song.
So,
Just two
well,
guys talking wrestling.
Well, you guys, for SP, I'm Dropkick Zombie. Y'all have a good night. Over and out.
Peace.
We two loony guys catching eyes with our hype, talking pro wrestling, making all the fans unite. In the ring we swing like a rhyme making machine with moves so mean, leaving opponents in a dream. You're rocking the mic.